Oh, hi.
We're recording.
We haven't done this in so long that we're like, oh,
don't know how to do it anymore almost.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. So welcome to this is a spur of the moment kind of pop-up hangout on a day like today that we felt there's a lot going on. There's a lot to say. It's been a while since we've been, on here. And we felt that it was really important for us to come up on here and just kind of check in, if you will. I am Darling Castaneda. If you don't know me, you can find me at xoxdarling.com. My one-on-one intuitive sessions are currently at 40% off for the holidays, which is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Are you going to the end of December?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. My availability is slim for the rest of the month, of course. So I'm trying to, fit people in as much as possible. But yeah, I'm going to the end of the month with 40% off. And then of course you have my mentorship options that are up there that are just so kick-ass. Not because I'm doing them, but I think it's like me living through even the experience of it with my clients. Mm-hmm. I fucking love it. So all that's on there, xoxdarling.com. You'll also find links to all my social media on the website. And this is Susan.
I'm Susan Grace. I'm so happy that we're here. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, but it's like we've been through so many shifts in the last 6 months or so that we're like, we better wait. We better wait.
Yeah.
And now we're like, no more waiting. Here we go.
Let's just do it.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm Susan Grace. I'm susangrace.org and on Facebook under Susan Grace. I do daily readings for the astrology for the collective. And then I'm running a sale too. I'm 20% off through the 19th whenever Saturn goes into Capricorn on just natal chart readings and 2 notes for people who are recurring clients with me. And then I have I call it an intensive, but it's like a mentorship, and I love them too. The intensives, like you're with people over time and you grow with them, and it's just, you get to know them and you just get in it together. I love them too.
And then you see the big shift at the end and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. And I've noticed that people who sign on, who are doing like mentorships, or for me, it's intensives, it's always when they're about to pop. They're always about to break through something. Yes. And they're like, I feel it coming. You're like, okay, we'll do it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome.
If you're joining this live, there's chat. If you go into the lower bar, there's a chat button. There's also a Q&A button. So if you want to ask us questions, if we have time, we'll look in there. But if you post questions in chat, we may not see it. So go to Q&A if you want to ask us anything. But so why today, darling?
So it's 12/12, and we thought it would be super special on top of the fact that there is just a lot going on. There's so much happening, that so much to talk about. And I feel like some direction and some guidance would be really awesome right now. It would be like exactly what we need to get on the other side of all of this. So the gateway is, 12/12 is a gateway. So it's so important. I feel, and I'm sure Susan feels the same, where it's like, we all want to go cross this gateway together. But there's so much going on, like I said, that, if I'm honest and raw and real, like I know how to be, it can be hard to even see the gateway right now.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where I was just like, we're going on and we're going to cross over this gateway together.
And it's, I'm really fascinated about how things are lining up all the way down into the last second that we go into a shift, right? And that we have a 12/12 gateway before this, whenever we were really trying to go through this, like a portal, an energetic portal together, holding the note of Moon's in Libra, holding the note of balance and harmony and flow and beauty, looking for the beauty. Right. And the gateway doesn't close after today. We're sitting on the galactic center with Saturn and Mercury Retrograde, and the sun's going to go through here. Mercury's going to go direct over here. And then we're going to have our second eclipse for this next season is February 15th at 26 degrees Aquarius. That's going to sextile into the galactic center. It's just like, here we go. We're in it now. Can't quite move just yet because Mercury's still retrograde. But things are starting to pop. things are starting to pop all over the place. That's why we wanted to talk about how we need to hold the note of we're going up, not down, and look for the beauty. And we're going to go through this together, because there's other stuff in the astrology that looks kind of tense, not kind of tense, really tense. Saturn's at 29 degrees. That's the testing degree for Sagittarius. Well, for all signs, but it's at the testing Sagittarian degree. Mars in Scorpio is sextiling into Black Moon Lilith and Capricorn. That looks like something could pop on that one. Jupiter is still bringing up a whole lot of truth, and people are going to probably be pretty extreme about that. So it's, you know, this is just the world we live in now. From here on out, we got to just keep riding it. Nobody run, stay where we are, and we hold the note of where we know we're going. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, shit, you pretty much hit it right on the nail. We're getting to that point that we, you know, have been talking about for quite some time now. It's like that boots on the ground, you know, there's no turning back now. And yeah, it's definitely that same, what we've been getting prepared for, that same feeling of being in a haunted house and just being like, well, the only way out is through, you know, like we literally can't turn back. And what's important is making sure that we go through it. It doesn't, I think one of the biggest things is it doesn't have to be this scary. It doesn't have to be this chaotic. If we just are, if we're focused, if we remain, if we keep reminding ourselves of the beauty, to look at the beauty of things, you know, even though there are not so beautiful things around us, then that will help us ease into it. Like it can, all this, we can walk into all of this with ease and grace. It doesn't have to be, you know, like a traumatic birth or something.
Well, and I also want to point out that well, let me mention real quick. If you're in chat, you need to, if you want everybody in the chat room to see what you're saying, choose from the pull down menu above where you type. Choose all panelists and attendees. If you do all panelists, just Darling and I will see it. I think it's important to recognize whenever you say we can't turn back now, don't let that, don't get it twisted. It's not that we can't turn back now, we're going into darkness, because we're not. Our solar system is coming out of the darkest part of our orbit from Sirius. You cannot make the solar system go backwards. Okay? Right. We're coming out. And Regulus is not in Leo anymore. It's in Virgo, where we're goddess led now. You can't make Regulus go backwards. Okay. So when we say we're going in it, we're going up, not down. Right. I don't care what a collapse looks like. I don't care how much they try and make us fight each other. I don't care how much they say you need to be afraid. You can't reverse this. We're going up, not down, no matter what. And like you say, holding the note is big. And that is the key to not having it. Doesn't have to be, you know, ugly. Well, it might be no matter what. And that's because there is a mechanism of suppression through fear that's trying to maintain its control over most of humanity. And if we think that we can walk up to that mechanism with our little chisels and go ding, 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 not doing that, it's not going to work. No, it's not going down like that. That's not how it's going down. And so they're going to do whatever they need to do to try and hold on, but they will not be able to. They will not. And it's not just because Susan said so. Although I feel that way. I feel like I want to take the fucker down with my own two hands, but
I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. You know what I mean? I mean, I know what you and I have talked about it, you know, I mean, obviously off camera and stuff, but we're just like, this is pissing me off so hardcore, like on a divine level, like on a way where it's like, I just want to take it down with my own two hands, but that's not what we're here for. And so I think that I think that's a key, that this is key. I think we're pointing to something that's really important. And that's what I mentioned to you earlier, which is when I say it doesn't have to be ugly or it doesn't have to be difficult, it can be with grace and ease. It's the more that you can hold the note, the more that you can keep your eyes on what you're supposed to be doing, the more that you can continue focusing on birthing this new world and your place in it, and where we're supposed to be putting our energy at the moment, that will help it not be, that will help it go forth with grace and with ease and not being so difficult. Because what happens when we get exhausted and we feel torn down when, like you said, we're sitting here going up to something, trying to chisel it, and we're fucking tirelessly trying to chisel it when that's not what we're supposed to be doing, or that's not what, let's say, I'm supposed to be doing, because maybe somebody else is supposed to be, you know what I mean? But when you're sitting here chiseling on something that you're not supposed to be working on, then it's going to feel like you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel hopeless. You're going to feel, because you're working on the wrong thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And then I also, along those lines, I'm really in favor of letting the planets do their job.
Yeah.
Like, Pluto tears shit down. Saturn's going to make us go to work, and it's going to dismantle. I mean, Uranus going into Taurus is going to revolutionize what we value. The planets know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really believe I've believed that academically since I started astrology. I feel it in my bones now. They know, the planets, the energies know what they're doing. Let them do what they need to do, and then we hold the note of going up.
Exactly.
And just just keep walking through it.
Yep. If we try to turn around and hold on to something that's falling, or try to go against the flow and try to do all these things, that's when you start to become tireless in this in this stream, when you're trying to go again.
Lord, I have tried hard to fight against Pluto and Saturn in particular. I mean, I went toe to toe with those fuckers, and I did it for a year. And I ended up face planted hard, really hard, until I finally said, all right, I give up.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Do whatever, And then things shifted rapidly. When you get out of the way, they shift faster. They shift faster.
When you get out of the way, when you get into the flow, into the current of what you're supposed to be doing, you're going off from there, Mm-hmm. So absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about this Mercury retrograde.
Oh God.
I feel like that I normally don't get fazed by them. And I've heard this from a lot of people where they're just like, this one's a bitch. Like this one, I tried to put it a better way. You saw me I paused. I'm like, how can I put this? No, it's just a bitch.
Yeah. So how do you mean? How's it feeling to you?
Well, for me, it wreaked havoc, and I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with other placements, in my chart, and the chart in general,
yeah, your 10th is lit up. Like your purpose and stuff is lit up.
Yeah. And I just kind of feel like there's, it's kind of like what we were talking about, where I'm you just want to stand up for all these things, and you're just like, all right, I'm fucking ready to talk. And Mercury retrograde, you open your mouth and you start saying things and you think you're making so much sense, but Mercury retrograde somewhere in the delivery in the middle of you and the person you're talking to flips it completely.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's been like. And I'm just like, it's not what I meant to say. It just,
oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've had to say, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. I mean, to where, thank God I know that it's Mercury retrograde. Otherwise, right. I would think that people are out to get me. I'm like, why are you saying, I didn't say that? Instead I'm like, I didn't say that. Okay. It's twisting around. But I think that my experience with Mercury retrograde is that it forces you to slow down
and go in.
There's an answer here. Think about where you are, really think about how you want to react. And I think this one in particular, my feeling is that the whole thing about the galactic center in Sagittarius and Saturn and all that shit, it's you must be willing to stand up for what you truly believe in. And in order to do that, I think that we have to be willing to receive energy right now. What do you believe in?
Yep.
Like receive hope, receive vision, receive inspiration, receive guidance, so that when we get pressed, you know where you stand, you know where you're settled in. I don't know why I feel this way, but I really feel like we have a lot of support from above, and it's just raining down support, raining it down, giving you what you need, giving you like connections, conversations, abundance, this hangout, whatever. I mean, it's raining down exactly what you need to get you like right up to the last second, exactly where you need to be set up.
Exactly. It's at a point where I mean, we've been in a holding pattern for a little bit.
I mean, at least May.
Yeah. But in this part of the holding pattern, it's no longer completely idle. It is exactly what you said. It's 100% like receiving mode on many different fronts. And it's almost like Mercury retrograde is like, just shut up.
Yeah, just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, just shut up and receive. And with 1212, and 1212, I believe, being a gratitude gateway, it goes hand in hand with that. It's a lot about just shut up, receive what you have to receive, and be thankful for it. Look within, look at all of this beauty, look at all of this I'm showering you with. And that's what's kind of like pushing us through the gateway. As that gratitude for all of those, like you said, that rain of exactly what you need coming down. And so what's going to get us pushed through is to shut the fuck up and flow the right way, and just allow ourselves to receive right now. It's gonna I think after the 22nd, you said, it's gonna just be like,
whenever Mercury goes direct, but shit's gonna go down before that. Saturn goes into Capricorn the 19th. We have the new moon on the 18th. You know what I mean? It's just, I really don't think that we're in control here.
We're really not.
And so it's like Saturn at 29 is like, I want you to remember what you've learned in the last 2.5 years. You don't need outside validation. You stand up for what you truly believe in, because your beliefs are going to dictate the world you live in. Remember, I said this. And it's like, and Mercury's retrograde to make us listen one last time. Yes. And whenever you can feel a shift coming, but it's making you sit down and listen. It's, for me, I've got a lot of anxiety. Like, I'm shaking right now. Like, I'm shaking all the time because I'm just like there's so much energy going on. Fuck. And you can't move yet. And it's, and I'm noticing myself and a lot of the people that I'm talking to in readings are having very intense dreams. The shadows are way stirred up. And I don't think it's a haunting. I don't think that the shadows are coming back to say, I'm going to get you again. I think the shadows are getting up and running. I think they're running. And so let them
run. Yep. Yeah. All these things they're coming up to the surface to finally just be done with it.
It's a purge.
Purge. That's the word.
See, I feel like this all the time right now. Like,
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard. And I'm old enough now to know to zip it, because I could go around going, fuck.
You do what I did.
Fuck. What did you do? What'd you do?
I flipped my shit. I think it was like 2 weeks of flipping my shit completely unnecessarily.
Yeah. Like made up stuff, or you overreacted to true stuff?
Overreacted to true stuff. It's almost like I'm like, hey, I feel like this boundary was crossed, but I'm going to like turn this house upside down because of the boundary. Or you could just say how you feel nicely.
I don't know if that works all the time. What was it? There was, I think it was Malcolm in the Middle back in the day. And there was one episode where the mom was like, they're like, why are you always yelling? No. Another woman was like, why are you always yelling at your kids? And she's like, if I'm not yelling, they're not listening. Like, yep.
Accurate. Yeah, that's so true.
All right. So 12/12 is going to lead us into new moon, is going to lead us into Saturn into Capricorn, and Mercury, Sun, Venus, all going back over the galactic center. And then it keeps going. And so I think I think we need to pay attention to where we are right now, because the second eclipse in Aquarius, my opinion, and it's just an opinion. Well, it's not just an opinion.
I was going to say.
Good opinions.
Valid opinion.
That's right. That it's a solar eclipse at 26 Aquarius. That sextile is into the galactic center in Sagittarius. So between right now, when we have contemplation of the galactic center, then the shifting starts into Capricorn, and then we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius sextiling in. I feel like something probably pops and makes us want to pull together. I think there's you'll hear astrologers saying that it gets really intense whenever Saturn catches up to Pluto in 2020, I think. And I wouldn't go thinking that we won't know anything until 2020. Saturn doesn't go into a sign and say, who feels like getting to work? It doesn't do that. It comes in and like rips you away from where you're off track. Mm-hmm. And like, I have things to say to you. So I don't know. That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just, I keep feeling like over and over and over and over again. Remember that through sacred union, we have common purpose. Remember that. And the common purpose is standing up together in what we truly believe, because the whole, there's one person and everybody follows that one person in changing the world. That's old paradigm. That doesn't fly anymore. We build webs now. We build webs together, and we do this shit together. Lock arms.
Right.
How do you feel about 2018? Like, as far as entrepreneurial stuff?
I think 2018 is go time for so many people. I mean, I'm seeing it, I'm seeing it in the people that are reaching out to me, where they are there's so many people who are being brought right online to their purpose, mm-hmm. and being brought right into what work they need to do to discover or lead in, or to bring their purpose out into the world. And another thing that I'm seeing a lot, basically what I just said, but the way that that's really manifesting is a lot of people having to up level. And so they, if they have let's say they have a business, they plateau in that business and they can't seem to be able to figure out what's the next step, or how do I do this, or whatever the case is. And it always ends up being something in their personal life that they have to resolve and work with, like something in themselves, their relationship with self, their something within that is also that, there's more being asked of them there, so that purpose comes in and up levels, is able to up level. And I mean, it's huge, and I'm seeing it across the board. People are having breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And after that breakthrough, they're like, shit, I actually feel like if I can move up, I can continue rising, because I took off this shit off of me. Mm-hmm. And it's shit that they didn't even know was there. They just knew they couldn't climb.
That's how you found me. I came under a severe attack that took me all the way down. And that's the first thing you said to me, is you need to really see this as spirit saying, this is time for you to level up, because you're going to get even bigger. And instantly I was like, oh, okay, no problem. And it was a big deal, because I was hiding. My voice wasn't fully out right. front. And I couldn't go any further if I wasn't willing to really put myself out there. And that was terrifying. And I needed that process with you in order to do it. And man, I've never looked back.
Mm-hmm. And we just continue. Every up level is the same thing. Every up level, it's like a different version of that, of, hey, there's more required of you here so that you can, you know, bring it up here. And, you know, the more, when I work with people, one of the things that seems to me to be mind blowing to them is just how connected they are with their purpose, like how connected their own story, their own life in general is with their purpose. Like, and that's something that, because for so long, and don't get me wrong, to me, business and purpose can be two different things, but they always go hand in hand type of thing. Like the business is a tool by which you carry out your purpose, not your actual purpose. Okay? So that's something that I also like try to help people with kind of maintaining. I know that you and I have had that conversation before where it's like, Susan, like your purpose is your purpose, your business is your business. It's a tool, but it's not just it. And so that conversation is something that also comes along, but they are like, oh my God, I didn't know that my story was so tied into my purpose. I'm like, yeah, like it's in there. Like it's all like embedded in each other. And so for 2018, I think that that's really cranking up. Like I'm seeing it big time because it's definitely like, it's go time for what each of us are supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah, it's in the chart too. Like the I see at the bottom of the chart is the root of you, right? Mm-hmm. And the root of you grows up into the MC and into the 10th house of your career and life purpose in the midheaven. The root of you grows into something that goes outward.
Yes.
Yeah.
As above, so below.
We're built that way. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think it's go time in 2018 for entrepreneurs. Ooh, I'm having deja vu right now. For entrepreneurs, for artists, for wellness practitioners, community builders, food growers, environmentalists, anything that is involved with us coming together at a grassroots level and building up a new way of being in the world.
Yep.
Restructuring how we're in the world and deciding for ourselves what we value. Uranus going into Taurus, deciding for ourselves what we're going to value and what we find important. I think a tricky thing about Uranus going into Taurus is the last time it was here was when Jupiter was in Scorpio too. And that was like the build up to World War II. It's important that we understand that when people feel like they're undervalued, they get desperate. We have to learn that every person has value. Every life has value. Every life has dignity. Like they're talking about the possibility of giving everyone a standard basic income, because it shouldn't be that you have to do that fucking job that's killing you. And if you don't, you're really going to die on the streets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everybody should be able to, every life has dignity, and we should be able to apply our lives in ways that are meaningful for us, not what we're told we have to do. And then like we're held hostage by that. And then we have no voice because we're too fucking busy trying to survive.
Right.
You know? So anything along those lines. I'm getting a lot of people in readings who are about to bust out in all different kinds of wellness practitioners, including wellness practitioners for companies. By the way, I'm getting people who are interested in evolving CEOs.
Yep.
You know, evolving how we participate in work life so that we're human.
Mm-hmm.
We're all human here. We are not machines working within a bigger machine. We're human. We have lives. We're living beings, including the people at the top. That's one thing about Regulus in Virgo, is that the goddess doesn't wield her power by dominance. She's coming to heal everybody, including the people who are lost in the misguided mechanism of control. Everyone is going to be healed one way or another.
Everyone is human. Everyone deserves to be healed. Everyone deserves it. And that's contrary to what we're used to. But that's where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also, where was I going with this? Because I heard something you said kind of made me, and now I lost it.
What? What we value, the people who are busting out, community building.
Yeah. I have a lot of people who see me and they're just like, well, I have a passion for this, but I mean, who wants this? everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't underestimate your passion, your ability, your experience with things, your, what you're here for. Don't underestimate it. I mean, we're walking into times where, I mean, we are needing each other for everything.
Yeah. I mean, when I think that there's probably going to be a mass exodus of people who aren't going to participate in the old paradigm anymore. And you have to rediscover who you are and what's important to you. And one of the things that happens whenever you're about to go out on your own outside of your unlocked cage is that you go through this whole thing of, who do I think I am? Well, you're you. We need to hear from you.
Right.
You know, and then there's a feeling of, well, everybody knows this already, right? No.
Right. No, we don't.
Nope.
We don't. Yeah.
I was just talking with a client of mine in a reading today where she was talking about the environmental impact that comes with like massive manufacturing, especially in vulnerable third world countries. And she's like, you know, I was like, do you think maybe you have a voice for that? And she's like, well, I guess. I'm like, because I didn't know that. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff where it's like, but again, it gets really rooted in, and that's what's happening. We're up leveling, and those kinds of things, those kinds of conversations are happening because, okay, you are ready to step into your purpose, but you don't even believe that it's needed. So let's figure this out. Let's up level your belief system, and then your purpose work and all of that is going to up level when you up level your belief system. So it's, yeah.
And how about the belief system you have on putting yourself out there? Because there's a massive release from karma that we're all going through, a massive release. It's a big purge. And so now coming back out in the world where we're voicing our abilities and our strengths and our gifts and our powers, like there's a real karmic trauma, fear of they're going to come get me. You know, you're going back in the dungeon, or they're coming with torches, or here comes the fraud police. Yes. And they're not. That we build webs now. This is completely different from whenever Regulus was in Leo. And when we were in darkness, we were unaware. This is different. And so we have to heal. I've been telling people, especially since Chiron's about to go from Pisces into Aries. Pisces is where we're all being released from suffering. And so people with Chirons in the next signs are getting a head start on theirs. But Chiron and Aries, that's my generation. Chiron and Aries people, fuck man, we have been taken down hard by humanity and really scared to show our power, and really scared that if we show our power, we might do some harm because we don't know how to use it. And so I think for everyone's going to be evaluating and healing from how we've used our power to hurt ourselves and each other. We're all going to do that with Chiron and Aries. And so I've been talking with people about how it's time to make up with humanity, because we don't want this to be a bone of contention where it divides us further.
Right.
When Chiron goes into Aries from Pisces, it usually is around liberation movements. It's usually when we become very aware of what we're doing to each other. And so I think in order for us to go up all the way and not marginalize anybody, we're going to have to make up with the trauma that we've been through karmically.
Of course. Yep.
I've been using the Ho'oponopono for this, and it is not easy. First of all, Ho'oponopono outward, like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, is the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. For any kind of participation you've had in humanity being in the darkest part of our consciousness. But then also what I'm suggesting is that since we're all human, you're a human, I'm a human, we can stand in the name of humanity. We can stand in the name of humanity and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. To Susan.
Do it, yes.
And then Susan doesn't want to hear that shit, okay? Because she's resentful, you know? And so like in the name of humanity, I stay there. I'm like, okay, I get it. Susan is hurt. Still not leaving. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Going through that process of, I don't want to hear it. I'm resentful. Like, you want me to forgive this shit? No. And going through all of that, because humanity's incomplete without you, and you're incomplete without humanity. We have to fix the division. We have to fix the gap, fix the separateness that makes us feel marginalized. That's dangerous. It's dangerous for people to feel marginalized. That's when desperation kicks in. And not only do we start doing like desperate things, but then you have authoritarian leaders who are like, I'll help you. And it's like, great. Nobody else is paying attention to me. You don't want to do that. Nobody is marginalized. We all have to heal the wounds of what has happened to us. And what has happened to us has been simply because humanity has been in darkness, and we're coming out.
So I've seen a lot of this and even experienced it myself. And like, as you know, I'm a certified theta healer. And so in theta healing, I've realized, do you remember how you always say forgiveness comes in a whisper? Forgiveness comes in a whisper. Like, it's not something that you're just like, you have to forgive. And that's why that frustrates people so much, because you're not just going to fucking forgive. Okay. You're not just going to wake up and be like, oh, suddenly I feel nothing about this, you know? It's not going to happen that way. But with the process of theta healing, like digging, and even like, because I do a lot of the theta healing in the self-alchemy mentorship, when you dig enough into that hurt, into that pain, into that trauma, you dig so far in that it goes beyond the person that did it to you. It goes beyond that, and it heals. You heal the actual trauma, and then once you're walking healed, forgiveness comes in that whisper. It just comes in that whisper, because you're just like, I've been walking healed, and suddenly you didn't even realize when the fuck it happened. You forget.
Yeah. When you know that you have healed fully, when you go, it's okay. Right. But that, you can't fake that shit. You can't fake it authentically. I mean, like, you have to go in and give yourself an actual chance to go, oh my God.
Yeah.
And heal that. What's theta healing?
So theta healing, it's almost like a mix of energy healing and, like, you know, EMDR psychology. So it's really cool because we do a lot of
EMDR psychology is.
See, I'm not a psychologist, so that's like where you guys.
Well, how does it? I mean, is it like tapping?
It is like tapping. It's the art of going in and accessing all of your experiences, you know, in your subconscious, getting to the root of that particular pain or trauma. You know, it may have happened now with an abusive relationship that you had, but that's not where it came from. It goes way back before that. So getting into the very, very, very root of it, and then healing it energetically, you know, on so many levels, on a DNA level, even, while being in the theta brainwave. And so the theta brainwave is that meditative.
What is that meditative state? Okay.
So being in that theta brainwave and all that, it's magical, like magical. If you look into like how psychologists do the EMDR, it's insane, because they go back into, let's say, the original, like, I don't know, a person goes through a breakup, and so they're super hurt, and then they do EMDR on them, and they change that belief system, and they're like, within sessions, they're fine. So it's kind of like that, but it goes deeper, because we're doing energy work. We're doing it in the ethers. We're doing it on on a different plane of existence. And therefore you're not just healing it in this lifetime. You're not just healing it, you're not healing that particular situation. It goes way deeper than that.
Oh shit. That's amazing.
It's fucking awesome. So, I mean, I'm a practitioner, and it still blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? When it happens. So, but yeah, I mean, I know that I had, you know her as well, but confidentiality. I had a client that, was able to just like, to heal these things from childhood, and like from the theta healing session to our next mentorship session, just talking to her, it's a whole different person. I was like, Oh my God. And I'm a practitioner. Like I'm the one that facilitates, like, facilitates this happening, and I witness it, but it's still like mind blowing.
It sounds kind of like radical forgiveness. And I'm not a radical forgiveness practitioner, but I think, but my impression of it is that when you have like an event that has hurt you, right? It's actually rooted from before then. It's rooted in like karmically, or what happened with your parents. You go all the way back to the root, and then you have like a moment of perspective switching.
Yes.
Like that hurt people. Right. Like the whole thing about how we've suffered at the hands of each other because humanity's just been in darkness. And then you can, if you can forgive that, then it unravels everything.
It's a healing of that belief. And when you're on the flip side of it, it changes everything. And then, so you have the root of it in this lifetime, but then there's the beauty of theta healing, as opposed to, like, let's say psychology, where even as above, so below, like even in the grand scheme of things, right? Even that root of that in this lifetime is rooted to past lifetime things. So once you get on that scale, now that's even deeper of a healing. So it's, oh my God, it's awesome.
I really believe strongly that because of where we are in the evolution of where humanity is going energetically with the planets, I feel like this is everybody who's alive right now actively working through this stuff. We're the bridge between what has been and what is yet to come, the bridge between suffering and liberation. And I really think that when we're personally healing our own chirons right now, we're unraveling it for all of our incarnations. They all go,
yes.
I love talking with you.
I love talking with you. This is always so much fun.
Yeah. What are you doing for the holidays?
Hosting brunch on Christmas Day, and going to my sister's for Christmas Eve.
Do you spend the night there or for dinner?
For dinner. Okay. We live like down the street.
I remember your Christmas last year. You had a freaking train around your Christmas tree, and I was like, that's adorable.
Yeah. And I think we haven't put it up this year yet. I mean, we have our tree up, but we haven't had the train yet. But it's there. It's in the garage.
Oh, this is my first holiday season in 18 years not being in the corporate world. And I'm like, the holidays are nice. Wow. This is lovely.
Happy holidays.
No wonder people do this every year.
Susan at the grocery store, you have a happy holiday.
Yeah, happy holidays. Okay.
You smile today.
I was in a reading last night, and she, whenever we were saying goodbye, she's like, happy holidays. I'm like, happy holidays to you. She's like,
come here, bring it in. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I have like Christmas music playing everywhere, and
aww.
Yeah, it's Florida. It's finally like what we consider cold here.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
So what's that? Like 70?
Today's high was higher than most in days this week, and it's 73. It's the high today. Okay. Yesterday the high was like 50, which we were like, oh my God.
I know.
Like it was a big deal, because it is.
I walked my son to school and back, and so in the mornings we're like, oh my God, it's in the 40s. What are we gonna do? And we're like, well, you're gonna put on a coat. Okay.
That's one.
And then by the time I get back, it's already up to 50. And I'm like, it's hot. You know?
That's the thing about Florida. And we go all out because we don't get the chance to very often. Yeah. So like it hits like 50 and we're all like, whew.
I need more scarves.
And the pants and the scarves. And everybody's looking at us like, people who don't live in Florida are always like, what the heck? I'm like, this is the only chance we have to do this. And chances are that by noon, I'm like dying of a heat stroke.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because I wore my jacket this morning.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And my cool little boots that I don't get to wear ever.
Yeah.
So, but it snowed in North Georgia 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
No, I think North Florida.
Florida. Really?
Yeah. Like the sign was covered. It was like 2 inches of snow. I was like,
yeah. I know it didn't get to you guys.
It didn't get to me. We got like this little frost on the car, and I remember peeling it off to get like some frost on my hand and being like, "Hey, Chris, here's a snowball." That's as close as I got. Yeah.
You want to wrap?
I like the smallest ears. These things always fall out. Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, so, you know, final word of advice.
It's really important to understand that there's something bigger than you talking to you right now. And so when you feel inspiration, when you feel joy, when you're noticing the beauty around you, when you're feeling love, soak it up, receive it, and be open to it, because we have a lot of benevolence on our side, and we need to learn to not come from a place of distress and patterns living. And when something beautiful shows up, you receive that shit and say, thank you. Okay.
You take that and be fucking grateful.
That's right.
That's my final words. No, but for real, it's, you know, this gateway is all about gratitude and really taking a moment to just, and it's so interesting how it happens in the holiday season, you know, where it's almost hard to be grateful because you're taking so much for granted, because you're just like, you know, shopping and consumerism galore and all this other stuff. And not to mention the unique, you know, placements right now. It can be hard, but God, count your blessings and put out an attitude of absolute gratitude, not just for what you have in front of you, but for what you see that is coming to you. That's so important, to be able to say, thank you for this healing I'm going to get, you know, for this healing that's already mine. Thank you for this purposeful business that I am going to launch, that I am launching, that I am manifesting. You know, be thankful for what you've been shown is yours. It's just not materialized yet. A little gratitude goes a long way. And reach out and lock fucking arms with people. God, we need each other right now. And do that, you know, lock arms with people, find the people that you need to support you, and find the people that need you to support them, and fucking be there.
And we've been talking about this for years. So we're going to do this like we always do. We're going to keep going. We're going to do it together. That's what we're going to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yay. And we're back.
We're fucking back. In case you were wondering.
Yeah.
Did you miss us?
Every time I'm in, I know, I did too. And every time I'm in readings, I'm like, we're talking about coming back. They're like, yay! So I'm glad to. So we'll be announcing those hangouts as they pop up.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm really excited. Again, you guys can find me at xoxdarling.com. You know, just, I guess, to sign off. If you don't know me, if you don't know who I am, that's where you can find me. Again, xoxdarling.com. Crazy, awesome 40% off happening on there with intuitive sessions. So feel free to hop on that. Availability is really slim in this month. So yeah, call dibs on that one. And Susan, where can we find you and what you do?
SusanGrace.org. I'm running 20% off all readings until the 19th when Saturn goes into Capricorn. So, and that you'll need a code for that. It's Shift Happens, all caps, no spaces. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under Susan Grace, where I read the astrology for the day for the collective. So you can find me there too.
Yes.
And thank you guys for being here live with us. For
the last minute and shit.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to post the recording too on our Facebook pages, and so you can watch it again. And people who are catching us on the recording, thank you for being here too.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. And we'll announce the next one, so stay tuned.
Yep, we'll see you next time.
We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.